part of our podcast. 10 questions. You haven't yet listened to the main podcast earlier in the week, please do go check it out. I'll put a link somewhere above my head if you're watching on YouTube. So, Richard, this is really just a bit of fun. It's to get people a flavour of your life abroad and understand what it is that you the kind of highlights of your life so far whilst experiencing life not from home or not at home. Sorry. So my first question to everyone is, what's the favourite place you've lived abroad?
My favorite place I lived abroad would be El Puerto de Santa Maria in Spain, right next to Cadiz, that little town where I spent my first 3 months in Spain, yes. Oh, I love that little town, El Puerto. Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And then what's your favorite international food?
Let me just give you my favorite food in general. It might be international. I like uni with quail's egg, which is a sea urchin sushi dish. I guess I would be from Japan. So yeah, I'm going to take uni with quail's egg.
Wow. No, I don't know if that's a new one from the after. Start having a list of these. What's your favorite international tradition?
Maybe the running of the bulls in Spain. I always think that's pretty cool in Pamplona. That was a lot of fun when I was there.
Did you race it yourself or did you watch?
I watched because the risk wasn't worth the reward. If you're going to give me $100 million, yeah, man, I'll try. But just to see if I could do it, I don't know. Knowing me, I'll be that 1 in a million tragedy. So just wasn't worth it for me.
Perfect. And what's your favorite thing about living abroad?
Every day feels fresh. Every day feels like a Saturday for me. Even though I've lived here for 2 decades, for some odd reason, it just hasn't lost the zest and the spark of life.
That's a great answer. And then what's your best homesickness remedy?
Homesickness remedy? Well, I guess this thing, maybe making Thanksgiving dinner for, and maybe watching the Macy's Day Parade. That makes me feel like I'm at home a little bit. Having a barbecue during Labor Day or Memorial Day, which were big days for me back in the United States. That's it. Pretty much. That's my kind of traditional. Oh, excuse me. Halloween. Man, I will Halloween my office like crazy. And I love pumpkins. So maybe a couple times a year I'll do certain traditions that we had in the United States, yes.
Did you adopted the Mexican version as well? Because that's maybe more South America. Do they do it differently there? I know Mexico obviously is famous Day of the Dead, but I don't know if it also.
We don't celebrate it here. Some people do, but the skeletons creep me out a little bit.
For the goals of the US. What's the hardest thing about living abroad?
Being far away from my family. Yeah, my mother, father, and brother. Yeah, that stuff.
You often, or they come to visit you?
Both. What do you do? What do you do? That's just one of those decisions you have to make. In my mind, I justify it by thinking that they're proud of me because of what I've accomplished and, my vigor and grit. But on the flip side, you have people that love you to death and they miss you. What do you do? So these are just things you need to think about when you put your head on the pillow at night.
I guess it's nice to be loved.
It is.
Someone misses you, it usually means you've impacted their life in a positive way. What's the best phrase you've learned in your new country? Or new language, sorry. I guess Spanish. So what's the best phrase you've learned in Spanish?
Well, I like the pura vida, which means pure life. But if I had to choose my favorite words in Spanish, I like rascacielos, which means scratching the sky. It's a skyscraper. But my favorite Spanish word is buo, means owl. Buo, what a word. So yeah, I like that too.
It kind of goes to your Halloween theme as well, I suppose.
That's right.
What's your best way of making new friends?
Speaking English. Be like, how you doing? They're like, speak English. That's a new friend right there. Free tutor. I'll throw extra Philly accent on it too. Like I'll be somewhere and we'll be speaking Spanish and then I'll definitely say something at the end instead of hasta luego or muchas gracias. Be like, thank you very much, James. Instead of muchas gracias, it's Jaime. Yeah, thanks a lot, James. Whoa, what? Yeah, a little switcheroo right there just to keep things fresh.
Have you offered him a cheesesteak as well or anything?
With whiz, do not do provolone. And it's got to be on an amoroso, but yes.
What's the best thing to do in your new home?
I think walking in the rainforest, if you're at a national park and you get a chance to walk on a path somewhere, it's plenty. It's plenty, plenty, plenty. And you know, it's kind of funny because a lot of people would rather have like sports or the bar scene or pools or parties and stuff. I got you. But when these crazy party people go and take that trip in between their parties to go to a park, that's all they talk about is the experience that they had. And then they realize they'll start replacing things that they wanted to do with other things. And it's very nice saying that. It's not just lying around a beach for 7 days. You get bored at the second day. It's time to go on some adventures.
Mm-hmm. And then my last question is, what's your best expat life hack?
Of course. Just like on Fantasy Island, you know, Mr. Rourke had tattoo. You need a sidekick here. If you can find somebody that knows the ins and the outs, that knows the mechanic, that knows the place for the cell phone, right? That can get things done. You need somebody like that because it will save you time. It will save you money, especially money. I mean, let's just be forthright here. If I bring my car into an average mechanic, let's say I just first started, I got people now I know, but the average mechanic, and it's me, I'll charge $1. But if my buddy brings it in, it could be 40 cents. It's true. A lot of times it's more than 50% off for the same work, for the same part, for the same food, for the same room. And so did it upset me? No, it's business. They see certain people, they think they might have more income. But on the flip side, why shouldn't I take advantage of 50% discounts if I'm able? And so if you can get that sort of, you know, passenger to work with you, a lieutenant, by all means, it will make your experience 1,000 times better. But don't be cheap. Always make sure you're paying for the meals. Always throw in the extra. Remember their families' birthdays and anniversaries, so they get the hookup. Why? It's not an hourly thing. It's a 24/7 I might need for you to come get me thing, or to help fix my car thing, or to help solve a problem thing. So it's not even being on retainer. This is top dollar. This is an individual that is your extension. And so thankfully for me, I've been able to get a couple aces here, some very specific individuals. And that has definitely made my experience.
So I can't think of a better answer to give and a better way of ending the podcast. So thank you, Richard, for sharing it with me. And again, if you haven't yet seen the full episode, please go check it out. It's on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to it. And as always, we'll see you next time. The Expat Pod.